Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. Today I'm continuing my series of the top albums of a specific year, and this year will be 1969. This was a really hard list for me to make because there were so many important albums that were released this year. So two of the most important ones were Led Zeppelin I and Led Zeppelin II, and I intentionally left those off this video because I recently did an album matchup between those two albums. So I figured instead of talk about them again, I'll just leave a link to that video in the video description, and you can just watch it afterwards, because in that video I do go into depth about every track of those two albums. And I also left off the two first Neil Young albums because I have been listening to Neil Young a lot, and I want to do like a Neil Young ranking of maybe like the first 10 albums. So for that reason, I left those off. But otherwise, I'm going to list 10 albums released in chronological order or order of release. And here it is, my top 10. So number one is MC5 with Kick Out the Jams. So this is a live album and also their debut album, released in February 1969. This band's very influential in the punk rock scene. They have a very garage rock sound, a very raw sound. The album was recorded in Detroit, Michigan. They're a part of that whole emerging Detroit rock scene. The most popular song is the title track, Kick Out the Jams. This one's pretty cool, it has distorted guitars, very loud and heavy sound. Next is Tommy by The Who. This is their fourth album, and this is their rock opera. It was a double album released on May 17th, 1969. They also made a movie based on this album that was released in 1976. The most popular song from this album is Pinball Wizard, and it also has I'm Free. I really like the guitar riff, like that one. And the last song, We're Not Gonna Take It, not to be confused with the Twisted Sister song, but it's just a really great album. It's long, it's like an hour and 15 minutes, but it's a really great rock opera. Next is More by Pink Floyd, released on June 4th, 1969. This is a soundtrack to a movie that was released in 1969 called More. It's a movie that took place in, I think, on Ibsa, and it's a coming-of-age film, a lot of drug abuse and things like that. But anyway, really great album. Has some great songs, some filler tracks. It's a pretty mellow album, with the exception of two songs, which are the heaviest songs ever recorded by the band. So we have the Nile song, kind of sounds like a grunge band or just a heavy garage rock band. And Ipsa Bar, another a hard rock song. Other than that, the songs are very just mellow, just very atmospheric. So we have songs like Cymbeline and Green is the Color. Those are really great songs from this album. And next I have Alice Cooper with Pretty's For You. So this is the debut album by the Alice Cooper Band, released on June 25th, 1969. This one is very different from the subsequent albums. It's just psychedelic rock. Probably the best song is Levity Ball. It sounds a little more like the Alice Cooper that you would know, and also sounds a little bit like that Syd Barrett era Pink Floyd. It also has another version of the song called Reflected, which was remade later, called Elected, on the $1 Billion Babies album. And the rest of the album is just strange art rock, psychedelic rock. It's pretty good. I know some people like this one a lot. And next I have The Soft Parade by The Doors. This was released on July 18th, 1969. Probably my least favorite Doors album, but at the same time I really, it's a decent album. It's just probably my least favorite. And they changed their sound. They added some horn sections. The album has the big hit Touch Me. It has the closer, The Soft Parade. There's a few underrated songs like Do It. I really like the guitar riff in that one. And Wish Feels Sinful. That's a really good song from side 2. So this is a pretty cool album. Yeah, I like everything by The Doors, by the way. So next is Stand Up by Jethro Tull. This is their second album, released on July 25th, 1969. Now, this is the album where they found their signature sound, and also the first album with guitarist Martin Barre. Lots of great songs in this one. They do Bourrée, which is a classical music piece. They often play this one live. Nothing Is Easy, pretty cool, a jazzy rock song. And There are some newer versions of the album. It has like Living in the Past, very popular Jethro Tull song. Really great album. I'll probably do a Jethro Tull ranking next year after the new album comes out. This is one of my favorite bands, and one I don't talk about enough on this channel. Next is the self-titled album by the Stooges. This was released on August 5th, 1969. One of the first punk rock albums, very influential in the punk rock scene. This was where Iggy Pop got a start. So the best song, most popular song, I Want to Be Your Dog. Really cool punk rock song. Another one I like is called No Fun. That one, another kind of like punk rocker, and you could tell like from this song, and this is where like bands like the Ramones kind of like took their sounds from. You know, it was like this song, for example, and other songs were more like psychedelic rock. There's songs like We Will Fall. It's like a 10-minute song, and it's a pretty cool, underrated band from the late '60s. Next is the Beatles with Abbey Road, and released on September 26, 1969. Probably one of the best albums. So it starts with Come Together. And that's probably one of the most popular songs from their later day period. Then there's Something, really great George Harrison song. Octopus's Garden, that's a Ringo song with Ringo on vocals. And then on side B of the album, there's a whole series of like songs that kind of like, you know, go into each other and kind of make like one big song. So a bunch of songs that has like Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, and, you know, goes to the end. And this is just an awesome album, probably like one of their best albums. Next is King Crimson, In the Court of the Crimson King. Another great album, released October 10th, 1969. This album is very way like ahead of its time. Now, my favorite song, 21st Century Schizoid Man. I used to play this a lot on Guitar Hero. Really love the song. It's a very heavy song as well. Maybe like one of the first like metal songs, even though they do have elements of like jazz and progressive rock in this song. I know a lot of metal bands have covered this. And this album, only 5 songs, but it's prog rock and with jazz and classical, some symphonic music. And the middle songs in the album are kind of very mellow. There's like I Talk to the Wind, Epitaph, and Moonchild. And the closer, the title track, is kind of a little more of a harder rocker, but just a very like epic song. It's just a really great album. One of the best like prog rock debuts of all time. Last album I'm talking about is the Rolling Stones with Let It Bleed, and released December 5th, 1969. And on this album, they continue with their kind of like back to basic sound. So some of the big songs are Gimme Shelter and You Can't Always Get What You Want. Those songs have that like, you know, basic rock sound with like a gospel influence. They do other songs like some country and blues songs. One of the deeper cuts that I like a lot called Monkey Man. Really underrated, really cool deep cut from the album. Also the first album with Mick Taylor, because Brian Jones, he was having lots of problems. He was only on a few songs, but he was eventually fired during the recording of this album, and he died, I think, like within a month after he was fired. And that is all. Let me know in the comments what you thought. So tomorrow, Christmas Eve, I won't be doing a video. I'll probably do a quick one on Christmas Day just to show you some of the things I'm getting. I know I do have one CD that I will be opening. And on Sunday morning, I have something on my community tab. I want to do another album versus album. So please vote on the one you want, and whatever one has the highest votes as of Sunday morning will be the one that I do. That's all. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you all in the next one.